Hey guys, MC Mura here, and today we're gonna talk about the year 4 character pass for Street Fighter 6. And I know that this got revealed yesterday, and everyone already made their videos on their thoughts on this pass, and I have a lot to say about it. I wanted to sleep on it to get my thoughts arranged well. I even have like a couple of notes here about stuff that I do wanna talk about because I don't wanna miss anything, and I'm gonna be extremely honest. The play here, the content creator play is for me to come out and say that this is the greatest thing that has ever happened in the history of video games and make a thumbnail, that Tifa is in there and why do you want your legacy characters back? New characters are hype and we should always love having new characters and all that. And truth be told, I am extremely excited to have Tifa in this game. I even made videos years ago. Like, check out my channel. I made videos years ago, before Street Fighter 6 even came out, that said that I do want Tifa as a guest. So there is something for me in this pass. I'm not saying this pass is trash, and I'm not saying it is the best thing ever. I'm just saying I do have something to look for here, but it's still an extremely controversial pass. And there's a lot to talk about. Before I talk about the character selections themselves, we do always have to come back to the idea of 4 characters only per year. And that is always gonna create problems. One thing that have been consistent ever since Street Fighter 6 came out is that the content rollout is extremely slow. The idea of 4 characters only means that you are looking at 3 months gap between characters, maybe 6 months even, so it's not gonna be until March or April maybe until we get our hands on Tifa. And you're just never gonna make people happy with that few of a character roster selection. And this have been a consistent issue with year after year pass after year pass that have been. A lot of people have thought that maybe with them saying that they are discontinuing World Tour and no more a lot of Avatar stuff, that they're gonna focus more on the fighting ground content, characters and all, but that's not clearly the case, right? So just the fact that this is only 4 characters is something that was expected, but is a little bit disappointing. And regardless of what you think about this roster selection, it is always something that we gotta keep bringing up because it just amplifies however you feel about this roster selection. So in year 4, we're getting Tifa, we're getting Yasmin, which is like, my niece is called Yasmin, so that's kind of funny, Bosch, and Arjun, right? Or whatever we call his name. And this selection have gotten a lot of people talking, and it is brave. Capcom is adding brand new characters and obviously gotten a lot of clicks because Tifa is a headliner and all of that, although it was kind of late. And it is funny that the leak was only right about Tifa. That is kind of hilarious. But it's gathering a lot of discussions between those that are sad that there are 0 legacy characters in this pass and those who are shaming people that are sad that there are no legacy characters and those that are genuinely happy about new characters. But here's the thing. Here is my honest thoughts, right? I have 0 doubt that the new characters are gonna be cool because Capcom haven't missed yet with a Street Fighter 6 character. I'm gonna be honest, like I had my reservations about Ingrid, I have my reservation about Alex, about Elena maybe, but they came out pretty cool. And they are gonna be, Yasmin is gonna be cool, Bosch is gonna be, they're gonna be cool characters. Here is what I don't like, and I'm gonna be honest, I promise you full honesty, right? I don't love the extreme directions that Capcom keeps going for. Capcom is pretty much clickbaiting people with these annual character reveals. They are pretty much clickbaiting. And that's it. They are going for shock values and they prioritize shock value over trying to make people happy, if that makes sense. And this is not the first time. Like, you take a look, for example, at the year 2 pass, which is still one of the most controversial ones, where they added Terry, Mai, Elena, and Bison, right? And it was an annual pass with 2 guest characters. Literally half of the pass was guest characters, and Elena, a character that literally have given people PTSD during Street Fighter 4. So it was like an extremely controversial pick already. Even Elena was like a normal year annual pass would have gotten people talking, but they added her with Mai and Terry. And now Capcom is going for a selection that is just brand new characters. And I thought the idea of an annual pass was to give everyone something to look for, right? You wanna pretty much give as wide of an audience as possible something to look for, right? Maybe something for the Shoto players, maybe something for the Charge players, maybe something for the big body players, maybe something for the Street Fighter 3 fans, maybe something for the Street Fighter Alpha fans, maybe something for the Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5 fans, maybe have some new characters that people haven't played before and try to experiment and expand on the world, maybe one guest. But what Capcom goes for is the extremes. What happened with City of the Wolves collaborations and what happened with Tifa is pretty much Capcom knew that Final Fantasy VII, the Part 3 is gonna come out in 2027, so this is the window where we can add Tifa. And I love Tifa. I'm a Tifa main. The character that I like the most in this boss is Tifa, right? But here is the real thought, right? Tifa is gonna be a part of this boss. We have a big booby safe net that is gonna save this boss, that is gonna sell it regardless of who we're adding. So we're going for shock values. We're gonna add 3 new characters because we wanna get the clicks. Capcom are a YouTuber that is going for clickbaity thumbnails and clickbaity titles. And that's it. Because if Capcom wanted people to have a balanced experience, if they wanted to give something for everyone, the easy solution was, we'll mix the year 3 and year 4 pass. We could have had, say, Sagat, Ingrid, Yasmin, and Arjun. And year 4 would have been Alex, Viper, Tifa, and Bosch. And everyone would have been happy. You would get like Street Fighter 4 character, Street Fighter 3, a guest, and a Street Fighter 6 World Tour member, and maybe have Sagat in one season, Ingrid who's like what, and then Yasmin, and then it would have been cool. But it wouldn't have gotten us talking about it. And I have zero doubt in my mind. Now that I saw Tifa, you know what's going on? Vega, Hagar, and Gouken are real. They were just held back to a season behind that one. They are gonna be the year 5 characters because they figured that Tifa is too popular, and instead of mixing and matching the bosses, they're gonna maybe put them with Sakura or even Ryu or whoever system seller or whoever boss seller they're gonna choose next. And that's his real talk. That is how it feels to me. It feels manipulative. I'm gonna be honest, like they're just going for the clicks. And like I said, I have zero doubt that they are gonna be cool as fuck. But honestly, this feels like Capcom doing what they want because they know Tifa is gonna sell the boss. And hey, like I said million times, I love Tifa. But I understand some people are gonna be very upset. And Capcom is not looking for a balanced experience. They wanna go for the headlines. Because at the end of the day, it's a business and that is what they want. And I do want to touch on the lack of content as well. So this roster selection, this annual pass is selling for the same amount as the previous ones. And there is 0 new stages, which is shocking to me. You would expect that at least for a guest character like Tifa, you would put a Final Fantasy VII stage and that would have been cool, but not really. So I don't know, that's kind of weird. Like I would have loved to see like a Final Fantasy VII stage, kind of like the Final Fantasy 15 stage, like the Noctis stage in Tekken, or like the Clive stage in Tekken 8. These are mad cool stages. It doesn't seem like they're doing it. Or if they are doing it, they're gonna sell it separately, but I doubt it. They're not going for that. And obviously they have discontinued World Tour stuff as well, which is weird because why add new characters who desperately need the World Tour stuff to expand on their personalities and make people like them more? With new characters, you don't have an established fan base, so you need the extra exposure, but there is no World Tour. So I find that to be very weird as well. And I do want to talk about the idea of the characters' functions and legacy. Because I see a lot of people are shaming those who are sad that their fan favorites didn't come back. Like, how many Vega players did you know in real life? And to me, that's bullshit. Because people play these games because they care about characters, they connect with them. Cody is my favorite fighting game character of all time. Of course, I wanna play Street Fighter 6 and I wanna play my favorite character in that game. Why are we shaming people for that? Like, there's so many social media posts about those who are shaming those who want legacy, and heck, they have emotional attachment to the older characters. Of course, they want to see them. No one minds. I don't think there's a sane person who's gonna tell you, "I hate Yasmin, Arjun, and Bush. I never want to see them." That is not the idea. That's not why people are annoyed. People are annoyed because they're gonna have to wait another year to maybe see their favorites. That's it, honestly. Like, there might be the coolest characters ever, and I don't mind the idea of new characters. They are exciting because I have zero expectations, but at the same time, balance it out. Balance it out. That's all we're asking for. Instead of constantly going for the shock value, try to balance it out so that there is something to look for. Now, of these three designs, none of them speaks to me. Like, Yasmin doesn't look like a character that I'm gonna play. Arjun certainly doesn't. And Bush is like, I know Bush from World Tour. Maybe you should have added him during season 1 when he was still like relevant, not 4 years later, but I don't know. And it is disappointing as well when you talk about like game to game. Like, for example, Street Fighter 5, we added Laura, we added Minat, Abigail, Zeku, Colleen. I really like Lucia as well. These characters were really, really cool. But to think that there will be zero follow through on new characters because we're gonna make new games, we're gonna add the Street Fighter 2 roster, and that's it. You get 1 or like 2 Street Fighter 3 characters, 0 Street Fighter Alpha characters. Like, and only like Viper and maybe Jury from Street Fighter 4, that is disappointing. Like, you want to see these characters being expanded on, but that is not what we're seeing. We're just seeing 3 brand new characters who I don't doubt are gonna be cool, but people have genuine reasons to be disappointed. And like I said, they're just going for the clickbait. Overall, at least I like Tifa. Even though I am Team Aerith, by the way, I still like Tifa, and obviously I'm looking forward to Yasmin, and I don't mind Bush, but like I said, yeah, they don't necessarily appeal to me. They're not for me. But I'm gonna try to keep an open mind. But the ways that Capcom have been manipulating the fanbase is what doesn't really sit well with me. Anyways, let me know your thoughts. What are you thinking about this year for PASS? Are you excited? Are you over the moon? Do you have a favorite that you don't want, that you're disappointed that they didn't make it? I would love to hear your thoughts all about it in the comment section below. I try to be as honest as possible. I know that the play as a creator is for me to tell you this is the coolest shit ever and why you should be extremely excited. But I keep spade, and yeah. Thank you so much for watching and stay safe.